This is an example of what's called a complex fraction. Now don't let the word complex fool you. It doesn't mean that it's overly complicated. It just means that I have little fractions inside of a bigger fraction. And the process that we're going to use to simplify this is called clearing the fractions. I want to get rid of all the little fractions and just have a single fraction reduced expression to deal with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what the common denominator of all the fractions that I have is. Then I'm going to multiply every single term, whether it is a fraction or not. In this case, all of my terms are fractions, but you will encounter problems that they're not. And I'm going to multiply every single term by that common denominator. So in this case, I notice that I have a factor of n and a factor of m and n. So the common denominator is going to be m times n. So I'm going to multiply every one of these fractions by m times n. M times n, m times n, m times n. And there we go. There's my four multiplications. Now I'm going to go about the business of seeing what happens. And hopefully I don't have any more little fractions. So in this first one, when I take the m times n over n, notice the n's cancel. So I have m times m, or m squared, minus this second fraction. I have n over m times mn. The m's cancel, and I have n times n, or n squared. In the denominator, I have m times n times 1 over m. The m's cancel, and I have n times 1, or just n, plus 1 over n times n is n's cancel, 1 times m is m. So notice I now have a single fraction. There's no little fractions. This is much more pleasing to the eye. And now I'm going to do what I've done all along in this chapter with my rational expressions. I'm going to write this in lowest terms. So the numerator is a difference of squares. M squared minus n squared. M squared is m and m. N squared is n and n, plus 1 minus the other. The denominator does not factor, n plus m. Addition is what's called a commutative property. It does not matter what order you add things in. So m plus n is the same thing as n plus m. So I can cancel those. They're the same factor. And what I'm left with in this example is m plus n. Nope, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Let me fix that. What I'm really left with is m minus n.